Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next episode of our Cincinnati Reds long-term playthrough. We are at spring training, and we did some things. We did quite a few things. Let's start here at front office, and I want to find transactions log, and let us go. Hmm. When did I make all my deals? I think it was in January. December. Has to be December. Okay. December. We re-signed Alex Cobb on a 1 year, $2.2 million deal. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. If he's great, he's great. But we kind of hedged our bets with the starting rotation. And we brought back somebody who proves that he can pitch in Cincinnati. So that was a good 1 year deal. We signed Austin Hedges, OOTP GOAT, to a minor league deal with a major league option of $1.4 million if he's on the 30 man. This catcher defense and leadership ability is phenomenal, and that should help barring any injury. Our main backup catcher, we actually took in a Rule 5 draft. If I can figure out where that is. Yes, drafted Rule 5. One guy in the Rule 5 draft, Roniker Palma. He's Venezuelan. He's a catcher. This avoid K's is cool. This contact is decent enough. Nothing else here is really that thrilling. But he had a good, I guess this was last season. We're at spring training right now. Yeah. He was at AAA. He was really good at AAA last season. In 86 games, 300 at bats. He was good. So we'll see if he sticks. I think he's going to get first shot, barring anything injury related, and then Hedges waiting in the wings. So if he's bad, we can trade him or just return him. And theoretically, he could probably place him first if we need him to. Uh, yeah. Oh, and then we got Shohei Ohtani. This was a surprise. I mean, logically, we sneak into a playoff spot, right? And we have a bunch of good young players. And so I guess in his head, he says, oh, I can be that piece that pushes them over the top. And so we signed him. Very much front loaded. This back of the contract. It was a 7 year, $196 million contract. We're paying him almost $50 million this year since we had a lot of money. We gave some big extensions out. So this tails off, which is great. So that frees up some money later. And then we didn't do a whole lot, to be honest. We didn't make a whole lot of changes. Hunter Green, we signed him to a big contract extension, a 6 year, $90 million deal that pushes him to age 29 season, which kind of hedges against if he's really bad. Then this is not a terrible deal to move. And then if he's good, then we can always just negotiate another extension. Alex Cobb, we talked about. Nick Lodolo is penciled in as my number 5 starter. I think that at this point he just has to develop at the major league level, and we'll see how well he does. And revelation, Raver San Martin is our number 6 starter going into spring training. He was really good for us last season, so we'll see what he can do this season. I don't expect anything similar, but worst case scenario, he's like a long man lefty reliever in the bullpen. Speaking of bullpen, we have Lane Henderson, Michael King, Caleb Ferguson. All these guys are back. Giovanni Moran was a waiver pick from Minnesota. Came from the Carlos Beltran Baseball Academy. Very cool. We love Carlos Beltran here. Alexis Diaz in middle relief. Graham Ashcraft in middle relief as an extreme ground baller. And then a bunch of pitching depth all in here. Andrew Abbott, Ricky Karcher, Jason Foley, Hogan Harris, Clark Schmidt, and Connor Phillips. And then Connor Phillips was the guy who was injured for most of the last season. So hopefully he can develop a little bit, but he's probably just going to be in AAA. And then Camilo Doval and Garrett Crochet, who took a little bit of a ratings hit, but I think that's just because it was the offseason. So that is pretty much our bullpen. I think we're going to lean heavy on them again this season. But the starters I think, are a much better group right now than they were last year. Um, Offensively, again, not a whole lot we've done different. We re-signed Nick Ahmed because of this great defensive profile. We're gonna move him around the diamond a little bit, going through spring training. It was a backloaded 2-year, $14 million deal. He's got a $1 million buyout for next season. So really, it's a $1 million or a 1-year, $5.1 million deal. I think that's reasonable for like a stopgap. Oswaldo Cabrera right now is not penciled into a starting role, but I don't know if that's going to stick. I might have to just manually adjust this lineup. Top prospect Ellie De La Cruz has really jumped. This contact and home run power. This bat is going to play. He'll be a great defender pretty much everywhere he plays. He'll be above average at third and left, probably in right, average at second, Gold Glove at first, and he could play shortstop if necessary. So we actually offered him a big deal. It's pending. We offered a 12-year, $227 million contract. So hopefully he'll take that. That runs him through his prime. He'll be 34 at the end of that. And that's like I think that's less than he would get on the open market. So I think it's a decent deal. Stuart Fairchild is our fourth outfielder this season. Jared Kelenic slotted in as our starting left fielder. Austin Hedges, again, is a minor league call-up. Alejo Lopez, last year's All-Star, is probably going to be like a utility guy this season. Noelvi Marte was Rule 5 eligible, so he had to be added, and I think he might be our our main backup infielder. I haven't figured it out yet. I figured, a big rule is you don't make a decision until you have to make a decision, and I'm not going to make that decision right now, but penciled in as a backup infielder. Nick Martini on the 40-man, probably the first guy up from AAA. Matt McLean, our top prospect, also our starting second baseman this season, maybe even third. I'm not sure yet. We can play him in a bunch of different places. Shohei is our main DH. This offensive profile is stellar, and he had a 121 OPS plus last season. Palma, we talked about. Michael Ciani, I gave a big extension to, which is probably the most questionable out of the bunch, but I think it's still fine. 9-year, $136 million, and it's not unreasonable anywhere. So if it turns into an albatross, we can move it. Spencer Steer, starting infielder / backup outfielder, or backup infielder. Not quite sure where he's going to go yet, but he's on the team. And then Tyler Stevenson, our starting catcher. No long-term extension yet, but he wanted, that's a lot of money. But he's got 2 more years until free agency. So if we get a 3-year deal, what do you want? You still kind of want a 3-year 55. So this is probably and there's 2 team options. Okay. So what if we do like that? I think that's almost reasonable. What do you project in salary arbitration? 10 and 10.5 and 19. So that's about 30. So if I can get you for like 15 and 15 and then like a 25, something like that, and then a $25 million team option. But F20, something like that. I think that's the right number. I might be missing a 0 in here. Yeah, what about that? Okay. Oh yeah, I missed a 0. Okay. We don't have enough money for next season. That makes no sense. Why would we not have enough money for next season? Your projected payroll exceeds your budget. Weird. Okay, whatever. We'll figure that out at a later date. Anyway, it's because I have a bunch of team options and arbitration estimates for next season. So our payroll is at $99 million right now. It's projected for 117, so we're gonna have to find a way to save like 20 next season. That looks like Michael King's arbitration estimate and probably Jake Fraley's arbitration estimates, and then declining Nick Ahmed, and then bam, I'm at the money I need. So in either case, maybe we just play Stevenson out through salary arbitration and then look to make a move or hopefully develop a guy. So that's pretty much what we're looking at through spring training. I think the spring training roster is fine. Yeah, we're at 35 out of 50. That's also fine. Let's bring Trey Morgan to spring training. Top prospect, Trey Morgan. Oh, and personnel. We signed Joey Votto. We made him our manager. I did go into commissioner mode because he didn't want to manage the Reds. He said, I have no interest managing the Reds, which makes no sense. But so we signed him to manage our team, and I think that's pretty cool. We did retire his jersey, number 19, and we had ChatGPT write a bio, and I made sure to specify to try and get it as close to what these kind of look like. So one more number down for Joey Votto. One thing I did want to do, let's look at default numbers. What number Shohei Ohtani? 17? I don't think Stuart Fairchild is holding up number 17, to be honest. When guys have numbers like this, I just try and flip them. But who's wearing number 71 is the question. Giovanni Morgan. Okay, you can wear like number 72. How's that? There you go. So then we can make Fairchild number 71, right? Did he have any other numbers? 17. Okay. 71. We're going to do that. And then we can make Shohei number 17, because I think that's the number he wears or did wear. I can't remember. And then you can go to number 16. There we go. Everybody's kind of happy. And it just stays there. Okay. So this is the team. Maybe we force start Trey Morgan. I think he should probably start in Double A this season. What's the projected lineup? Spencer Steer? Yeah, I'd rather start Trey Morgan through spring training, and then we'll see. Just to get him some experience. Oh, Fairchild is projected to play against lefties, and Kellenic is going to sit. So they're going to platoon. I think that's a smart idea. Okay, so let's get through some spring training. I think this is going to be a good season. I thought that this was kind of funny. Rumors swirl that Colas may have lied about age. It says he's 25. I don't know how old he would be in real life right now. I'm not quite sure, but I don't know if he got older or younger. Yep, okay. Matt McLean, Noel V. Marte, Ellie De La Cruz. This Batman, he's going to be really good. He's going to be so good. I'm a little worried about all the long-term deals I've given out. I don't think that's the smartest play, but also if we're Cincinnati, it's something I feel like we also kind of have to do. Oh, you're not happy that Yasmani Grandal left. Where did you go? Minnesota? On a minor league contract. Just a straight-up minor league deal. I would have given you a minor league deal had I known that. That's all it took. Tony Kemp, I can get probably a lot of these guys are minor league contracts. I have $20 million to play with, but I don't see a very obvious upgrade over anyone on the team right now in free agency. Narvaez is probably a good catcher to have on the roster, but I also don't think I need Narvaez on the roster. Adam Duvall is probably a good backup outfielder, but I think it's who is it? Fraley, Fairchild, one of them. They're probably cheaper. Joey Gallo could be cool. Fly ball hitter, extreme pull. He could probably hit a lot of home runs for us. He played in 90 games last season. As like a bench bat, I'm not promising you a starting job, but I would promise you like a $5 million with like a $2 million team or like a 2 year $9 million deal with a team option, something like that. No, you don't want that second year. I'm not promising you a starting spot. No, okay. No, I think we move on. Teoscar Hernandez is not moving the needle. Tony Kemp is interesting. We offered him a minor league deal. Interesting. Fairly versatile captain. So if he comes aboard, that'd be nice to have in AAA to start the year. Yeah, Christian Walker's still here. Jesus Aguilar. Interesting. None of these guys are moving the needle. What about pitchers? Who's left? Matthew Boyd, Jack Flaherty, Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, I offered you like a 2 year, $20 million deal, and you didn't want it. It's not my fault. Hyunjin Ryu, interesting. Would you take like a minor? Yeah, perfect. I would do this. Minor league deal with a major league option for $2 million. I think that's a good deal. Protects us against some injury. Adam Wainwright tore his rotator cuff. That's sad. Anyone else really interesting? Kenta Maeda is interesting, but his ratings, he really tailed off now. Jared Eichhoff, that would be funny. No, okay. Nick Tropiano grew up kind of near me. We'll offer you a minor league deal. We'll bring you back into affiliated ball. These pitches are not terrible. He might be not awful as a reliever. He was pretty bad in indie ball last year, but it's fine. We're not really looking too hard. Mickey Giannis, knuckleballer. We love knuckleballers here. I've never been able to develop a knuckleballer in this game. Like an AI generated one? Never. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm not super thrilled with anybody really left. And these top three guys don't want to come here anyway. What about Duvall? What do you want? Yeah, okay, that's a good deal. Absolutely. Minor league contract with a major league option? Absolutely. What about Narvaez? What do you want? Minor league deal with major league option? Sure. You may opt for free agency, but that's okay. Again, just more insurance here for a lot of these minor league guys. I think that's the way to do it. And that way, if they're good, then I can, they make my decisions harder, which is kind of not a bad thing. And then if they're not good, then no harm, no foul. Christian Walker also went to Minnesota on a minor league deal, 3.8 mil. But they promised him a starting spot, which is kind of weird. I guess if he gets called up, he's the guaranteed starter, something like that. And this is why I say we don't make the decision until we have to make the decision. Noelvi Marte out for 5 weeks with a sprained ankle. Unfortunate. How are you playing so far? Oh, you've actually been having a good spring. Top prospect Trey Morgan, even though OSA doesn't think you're my top prospect. You think it's Cam Collier? Okay, let's just advance. I do have spring training ties turned on. Adam Duvall and Tony Kemp. Wonderful. Phenomenal. Okay, a lot of these guys all of a sudden are designated for assignment. So what we do is we ask the AI to set up the minor league system. But these guys are Weird. Duval. I don't really feel the need to truly carry a lot of these guys. Yeah, I don't think I need you three. You're probably never going to play. And I probably won't get anything of value in return. But that's okay. Okay. So now it's kind of filled up a little bit. Just a little bit. We're going to have to make some room on the rosters. But things usually have a way of working themselves out. All right. 4-1 and 1 in spring. We're having a good spring so far. Nick Ahmed has a lot of stolen bases. Christian Encarnacion Strand made his way to St. Louis. Ellie De La Cruz signed his big extension. So now we have him locked up for the next 12 seasons. And it's really like an average of $20 million a year through his 31. And then he's got a player opt-out for these last few. So really, I just locked him in for the next 8 years. Really his prime at a reasonable rate. He's making the minimum next year. 5 million, 11 million, 15, and then 20 and a half. So that's a good contract for me. There's Bader. Yeah, none of these guys. No thanks. Okay. That is a good. That's good. Mets Peterson injured in accident. Jock Peterson, probably a motorcycle accident, knowing this game. Jake Fraley, diagnosed with a strained hamstring, out 5 weeks. Okay, so these leg injuries are not great. So, now what? Kellenic plays every day. Fairchild plays against righties. Interesting. Okay. It's probably not what I would do, but we have... It's our job to give manager Joey Votto the best tools at his disposal. So we'll see. Trey Morgan is like hitting the crap out of the ball in spring training. He's been special. Wow. He might make our decision tough too. But that's kind of why I also picked him, was because I thought he could move quickly. Just maybe not this quick. Yep, still hitting really well. Yeah, he's going to make our decision difficult. Pitchers. Everybody's been pretty good, but this is where I think I have the biggest crunch. Just like a lot of these long relief type guys are just going to go down immediately, but big crunch still. Who's hitting poorly? Michael Ciani, Nick Ahmed, Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie got that big deal, and he's like, "No, I'm good." Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I forgot about that. Nick Ahmed. I wanted you. Okay, this is what we're going to do. And then Nick Ahmed is going to play like every second day at these other infield spots to get some experience. And then I think I want... Who else needs some experience? Trey Morgan, you're playing first. That's fine. Ellie De La Cruz needs to play third. I need to bump that up to that 55. I'm not sure if he'll play first or third, but we have options. Matt McLean's going to play second. And these guys are all fine. Jared needed to play right anyway to get that up to a 60. Stevenson, Palma. Oh, I think I wanted to play Palma at first, but I don't think I have to. He's having a good spring. Not as good as Austin Hedges. Austin Hedges is having a crazy spring. He's hitting 556. That's definitely not going to last. So we're just going to play through spring training and then hopefully get through without very many major injuries. And then we'll make our decision. Mark Vientos having a good spring. Encarnacion Strand. I don't know how he got to St. Louis. I kind of want to look that up. Ellie De La Cruz and Jared Kellenic, top of the leaderboard in bombs. Okay, you should have been on the injured list anyway. Prospects. Okay. Encarnacion. Encarnacion. How did you get to St. Louis? Traded by us, right, in the Zach Wheeler deal, and then they got sent to St. Louis with Gregory Soto and Ethan Wilson for Cooper Hirp. That's a weird trade. Very weird, guys. I don't know why you would do that. Okay. And we move. We're almost at the end of spring training anyway. Message, Noel Marte, recovery unclear. That's okay. We have enough. And he'll probably have to go on a rehab assignment down in AAA anyway, which is also fine. Okay. Message, Ryu is worse. Chase Petty, they moved to the closer position. I think that's probably smart. He's probably a reliever, in all honesty. Connor Phillips, you're going right down to AAA, my friend. Giovanni Morgan is not as good, but these are still good ratings, so he's fine. Omar Narvaez got worse. Catcher Cade Hunter at AAA. Garrett Forrester should not be playing second. He should not be playing anywhere other than first, but his ratings have tailed off too now. Nestor Laurent, Jack McLaughlin, worse. Drew Bowser, worse. That's okay. Zach Maxwell at high A. Sal Stewart is still fine. Okay. So let us get right to opening day, and then we're going to make all of our moves. Joey Gallo to the Angels. I never revisited that. That was not something I thought I needed to do. We went 21-6-1 in spring training, which is really good. Hopefully that bodes well for our season. Ellie De La Cruz and Jared Kelenic both had great springs. Alex Cobb had a good spring. Bad news for Trout in LA. Let's go find out what that's about. Maybe that's what Joey Gallo was for. Mike Trout insurance. Okay, we get it. Atlantic League, it's fine. I don't need the Atlantic League season predictions. I don't need that. Okay. I should reach the playoffs. Okay, Mr. Rob Castellini. Top prospects. No one in the top 10. Okay. So let's go to, I think, prospects. I would love to see, wasn't he mine? Didn't I give him up? No, he was traded, right? No. He was drafted. Okay. I was gonna say. This dude looks like he's gonna be really good. Cardinals pitching factory. Where's the first Cincinnati Red on this list? Very low. Cam Collier, number 28 in baseball. Okay. Matt McLean, Noel Marte. So we got a few top 100 guys. Who else is here? Trey Morgan is number 63. Let's go look at his. Where did that go? Let's go look at his spring. He was really good in spring. I just don't think it makes sense to carry him. Go down to AAA, Mr. Trey Morgan. But if he continues, if he carries that over into the season, he's going to make our decision a lot tougher by keeping him down. Trey Morgan. Any other Reds in the top 100? I might have missed one. I don't think so. Okay. Okay. Preseason predictions. Oh yeah, what happened to Mike Trout? Sprained ankle, moderate, 5 days. He's probably not even on the injured list. Oh, he is. He's got 7 days left, so he's gonna miss opening day. He probably could have DH'd. Would have been fine. Joey Gallo, what did you sign for? $5 million. That's probably reasonable. Okay, preseason predictions. Where are we projected to land? 101 games. I don't believe that. These predictions are based on who you have in spring training, and we have a lot of guys down in spring training. And just because of that fact, it probably projects for a really good season. But if we even get close to that, that would be crazy. Top hitters, Ellie De La Cruz is going to MASH, and they project him to MASH. He's the only one here. Pitchers, Max Scherzer won last year, Cy Young, by the way. He's now 39 years old. 2.32 ERA in 32 starts, 217 innings, 244 strikeouts. It's funny. As soon as I don't take control of the Mets, Max Scherzer goes off. All right, so Ricky, you can go down. Abbott can go down. Foley can go down. Harris can go down. And probably... Okay. How was your spring? Raver. Bad. Let's option you down. Probably the first guy up. Go back to a 5-man rotation, and now you can do whatever you want in the bullpen. Except that. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. No, sir. And then you can secondary specialist. Graham Ashcraft making it's kind of surprising, but that's okay. Clark Schmidt is probably also a middle reliever, but it's also fine. I'm not super worried about these guys. Lineups. Who has to go down? I only have to send one guy down now. Nick Ahmed, how did your... You didn't play any third, which is annoying, but you did start to play some second. Okay. So what would you do here, Joey Votto? Okay. So it's really a catcher I have to send down. Palma was not great. Hedges was great. But Hedges can go down. So I think Palma has the leg up right now. So that means a bench of Lopez, Martini, Oswaldo Cabrera, and Palma, I think is fine. I think that's totally fine, actually. Spencer Steer did not play any first base in spring training, and now he's projected to be our opening day first baseman, which I think is fine. All right, so Matt McClain, Jared Kelenic, Shohei Ohtani, Ellie De La Cruz. I think that's pretty fine. Spencer Steer, Fairchild, Siani, Stevenson, Ahmed. I think Stevenson's kind of low, but I don't hate having a good hitter hitting eighth. And then against lefties, Matt McClain is not going to start, which makes not a whole lot of sense. He's a good hitter for Cabrera. Maybe we play Matt McClain somewhere else. Maybe like right. Give Jared Kelenic the day against righties. Against lefties. Maybe we do that. Have Matt McClain play some outfield. Or Cabrera play some outfield. He's a 60 at second and a 50 in right. Matt McClain is a 65 at second and a 55 potential in right. So yeah, maybe we just keep him in right against lefties. I think that's fine. But just so he doesn't mess with it. And then just kind of like what we did last season, if Kelenic works his way to hit against lefties and he starts having a good line, then that's fine. But we're gonna start him off slow, I think, and go a little bit more of a platoon to start the year at least. So yeah, I think this lineup's pretty good. What I might do instead is I'd probably want Shohei hitting second. I'm of the belief you want your best hitter hitting second. And I think I would want De La Cruz hitting third, and then probably Kelenic cleanup, just because I've never subscribed to the cleanup hitter idea, to be honest with you. That's never been something that I think has been I don't know. It's not something I think is all that helpful. Is having a cleanup hitter. I'd rather my best hitters get the most at bats, and that's like Shohei, Dela Cruz, and Matt McLean. Kellenic is a good four hitter, and then it kind of resets down here with Stevenson, and then Ahmed against lefties. We're gonna have a quick pull with Nick Ahmed. I'm not really. I don't feel the need to carry him any longer than I do. He's got a reasonable contract, and theoretically Cabrera can play short. De La Cruz could play short. Alejo Lopez should be able to play short. Not somebody you want there, but McLean can play short. There's a lot of guys, and Marte can play short on the injured list. So there's a lot of guys who can be there potentially. But yeah, I like this team. I like this lineup. This lineup feels a lot deeper than last year's. So yeah, this pitching staff feels better. And that looks like it. So we're going to check in probably again, big injury or, um, around the trade deadline ish. Or if we're just struggling so bad, we're going to check in then too. But this is great too. The loyalty's gone up. The interest has really gone up. This was at like a 40 before last season. But now I think the moves we've made, we're on our way to developing that really good contender, especially with a lot of these guys on cheap contracts, like minimum deals, like he's on a minimum for the next 2 years, Kalanick, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, so I'm excited. So we'll check back in when we check back in. We'll see you soon. See you in the next episode. Thanks.